Alright, well, this is a video I've been wanting to do probably for about 3 or 4 years, ever since I got this gun, and I just never haven't gotten around to it. And I was watching a video the other day about some guys, and they were talking about Headspace and Mil-Surps and different things, and I thought I would just share this, one experience. My experience with Mil-Surps is you need to check them. You need to check them every way you can, and if possible, if you can afford it, take them to a gunsmith and get them checked out before you shoot them, because there's no sense buying something, paying money for it, and then taking it out and then damaging it, or hurting yourself or somebody else in the process. So my advice is, when you buy Mil-Surps, you need to definitely check them out yourself every way you can, every way you can think of. If not, take them to a gunsmith to get them looked at before you shoot them, because I've been collecting Mil-Surps for probably about 10 years, and maybe a little more, 10, 11 years, and I've ran into a few of them, and I've had a few problems, and sometimes you don't always get what you think you're going to get. So it's best to get them checked out. I have had Mosin Nagants. I have an M39 that has excessive headspace on it, and I've shot it a couple of times. I need to do some work on it, and get a bolt, do some work on the bolt, get another bolt head or something for it, because I mean, that gun, it would probably be okay to shoot a few times. With most guns, and my 303 Brit, my number 4 Mark 1, it's got a little bit of excessive headspace on it too, but I don't shoot it a whole lot. So I mean, there is things with these guns. This particular gun right here, this is a Yugoslavian, it's a M2447, which is a M24 or a 1924 model Mauser. Was originally adopted by the Yugoslavian government. It was actually the government of the Serbs, and I don't know what all they call themselves, but it wasn't Yugoslavia at that point. And they needed some guns, so they got a 1924 Mausers. Well, World War II happened. Long story short, after World War II, they had some of these left. They got some of them back. They got their tooling back, so they started redoing them. So they took the M24s. Most of them they put new stocks on, like this one has a new stock on it, and they put new barrels on them, and a few other things with the same receivers or whatever. Basically, just redid them, re-arsenaled them. Use as many parts as they could, use new barrels, a lot of new stocks, and just trying to get some more guns built up in case there was another war, after World War II. With this gun I ordered, like I said, I got a pretty good deal on it at the time, and I was really super excited to get it. And the first thing I do, I'm taking them apart, I look at them. I do have a headspace gauge, for a Mauser, and one way you can tell the M24s, or the 2447s, almost all of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but 90-some% of them mostly are going to have a straight bolt on them. But this is a 8mm Mauser headspace gauge, and like I said, I would recommend go ahead and spend a little bit of extra money. Just get you a headspace gauge, or take it somewhere. Normally, if you take it to a gunsmith, I mean, it just depends. If you can find a gunsmith that's only going to charge you, 20 or 30 bucks, I mean, that's probably fine. But as you can see, that's a field gauge, and that's what I use, and that's as far as I can get on a field gauge right there. So that's pretty good. I mean, that shows you that there's not excessive headspace. If it closed on this field, and the only one I really use is a field gauge. I mean, if it closes on a field gauge, you pretty much don't want to shoot it. But so it checked out fine, there on the headspace gauge. Well, then what I usually do is, and now that I'm reloading, I'll usually just load up a dummy round. But at the time when I got this gun, I wasn't reloading for 8mm Mauser, so I would just try to chamber around, and you keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. You're outside, just try to do it as safe as possible. It's probably not the best idea to do with live ammunition, but that's what I did. Well, I chambered around, and I don't know if you can tell by that, but you see the scraping on there. It was actually, the bolt was I mean, it closed all the way, but I could feel it was a little bit hard. It gave me a little bit more resistance than I thought was necessary. And actually, I pulled this bullet back out, but what it did is it's got a short chamber on it. The neck on this was not reamed out properly in the final finishing stages, and that was one thing. They were making these guns so fast and redoing them so fast. I guess sometimes the the final stage, reaming out the neck of the chamber, I guess it was either they didn't do it all the way or the bit got dull or whatever. So this gun is actually short chambered. So basically, when you chambered around, it would catch on to the round, and this actually would push it back into the neck of the case. And I've got another one. This is a put in there. This is a Yugoslavian surplus round, and you can see there the scraping on the round right there. And it basically, I pulled these bullets back out a little bit since I did it, but the bullet was actually pushed down. It was set back. You can see that much. It was set back that much, into the neck of the case. And then this is another one, that I tried chambering, and same thing. And this one was set back, quite a bit, actually, quite a bit. So if I would have tried to fire this gun, I don't know exactly what would have happened, but it probably wouldn't have been good. I mean, it would have been excessive pressure. The bullet might have been able to make it out of the chamber, but it could have also caused some serious trouble. No telling what would have happened. So I ended up, about a year later, I didn't shoot it. I mean, I contacted the guy I bought it from, and he's like, "Look, I'm sorry. That's why you need to check them out. He's like, "I can't do anything about it." The guy I bought it from, because he was a dealer, he's like, the guy I bought it from a collection, he had like over 300 bolt action rifles and had zero ammunition. So my guess is this gun has probably never been fired, when I got it. And it did have some cosmoline on it, not real bad. But if I were to try to fire this gun right out of the bat, the excessive headspace with the headspace gauge checked out fine, but it was short chambered, and it would have been a big problem. So about a year later or so, I took it to a gunsmith, and it didn't cost that much. It was like $50 or $60. He went ahead and finished out reaming the chamber, the neck for me, the throat, and so checked it out, everything. It's good to go. But that's just one example of something that can happen, with guns, especially military surplus rifles and things you're buying. Even when you buy a new gun, you could have something go wrong. It could break. I mean, it's just, they're mechanical things. They're going to break. They're going to have problems with them. You just want to try to check them out and be as safe as you can. So I don't know, maybe this is too much talking, but hopefully this is good information for somebody out there. If you're getting into Mil-Surps or you got a few or whatever, just make sure that you do your due diligence on them. I mean, like I said, when I get one, I mean, I take it completely apart, take it apart all the way, clean it, totally clean it, every part of it I can get clean, check it out and then put it back together, because I like shooting, I like collecting, but also like shooting. So hopefully this was some good information. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.